How's it going?
This is
Double dash jump. Welcome to Any Button Podcast, the gaming podcast brought to you by two of the world's most okayest Overwatch players. That's right.
well. I think it's probably a little bit better than okay.
See,
But-
but I'm a little worse than okay.
Oh, okay.
So we balance
average.
out.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Just a bit of housekeeping. We are sorry that this episode is late. Easter weekend has messed with our schedule, especially because it fell on a Sunday. Because
Yeah, and we
religion
go
or
on
something
Sunday.
or other.
Yeah, religion.
I don't
That's
understand.
fun.
I don't understand.
Is that a new like perk? Is that a new skill tree?
I don't know. Maybe.
What is real life?
Is that
Anyway.
like when you in RuneScape where you bury the bones and?
Yes, that's prayer. Oh, now I get it.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my fault. I had to drive, I think, like an hour into the hills and then an hour back
Yeah.
for Jesus. I don't know. For chocolate is the real reason.
Jesus died for our tins.
Right. Oh, God.
Yeah, and this episode will probably be a little bit shorter as it's been a big movie week. Thor Ragnarok, Star Wars.
I'm
And
good.
Mono's the movie guru, so check out his stuff over
Yeah.
on the Mono Report.
We'll leave it for him.
What have you been playing?
I have been playing One Shot for my new podcast, The Game Club. I've done it. I've plugged it. Check us out on iTunes by searching The Game Club Podcast. And now you're saying, why? This isn't just a plug, okay? Because in a way, it's a test for me to figure out how to put a podcast on iTunes. And as soon as Axton, you remember Axton?
Oh, yeah. Do they remember it?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do you remember Axton?
If you don't, search our old episodes, and if you hear someone yell out, "Record!" that's him.
Well, as soon as Axton hooks us up with some brand new intro music, because we've had the new visual intro, but we need some new audio music.
Sounds pretty good so far.
It sounds pretty good from what I've heard, but as soon as that's finalised, we'll start uploading onto SoundCloud and iTunes as an audio-only option for those who are allergic to video.
Or our faces.
Yes. It's horrible. Okay.
Yeah, so with all the movie news that we'll leave to Mono, I am excited for Thor Ragnarok, though.
I'm excited for everything, dude. I'm so happy.
Did you see the picture where it's got Thor Ragnarok and someone's just gone to word art and shown one of the old...
Oh, one of the old word arts. Yes, I saw that.
was great.
I've been thinking that as soon as they... it was back in 2017 and they announced all the new movies... back in 2017. That's this year. Back in 2016... and they announced all the new movies coming out and all the new logos. And I was like, that is some good word art there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Star Wars being one of those movies, they, not surprisingly, released the trailer for Battlefront II.
Yeah. They didn't release it. It was an accident. It got leaked. Just like the announcement for the trailer got leaked.
Was it leaked, though, or was it leaked?
Yeah. Is it like they give this USB to some back alley guy and be like, you know what to do.
Give this to IGN. Which is a delight to many fans, especially those who wanted Battlefront 2 when Battlefront 1 came out, especially because of the single-player campaign.
Yeah, I can't believe it. There's actually a single-player campaign. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Probably going to play it.
Probably. Which many fans are rejoicing since the first one had no campaign, which I think it came out that they just culled the campaign so they could release it alongside of Episode 7. I guess it's a bit sad. It's like, oh, we're going to cut a majority of the game
so that we can
release it on time. And it's like, what do we give you shit for all the time, EA? We give you shit for doing this.
This is exactly
and you just
why.
straight up just did it.
And then not only did they do it, but they said that they did it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But to paraphrase Shigeru Miyamoto from Nintendo, a game that is delayed can eventually be good, but a bad game is bad forever.
Didn't he come out recently and be like, I don't know where this came from?
I don't know, but the internet says he said it. No, there's also a quote. There's a famous quote. You don't trust what you hear on the internet. Abraham Lincoln. But speaking of Nintendo, well, can't really surprise us anymore with their
questionable decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, they did a questionable decision again.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
What are they doing?
So Nintendo America came out and said, after this final shipment of the classic NES Mini, we are stopping. That is it. This is the last official shipment, and then nothing.
I don't think... I mean, probably did, but I like to believe that the shipping container never made it to Australia, because I've only seen one, and not in the store, but in a friend's house.
I thought you were going to say on my Instagram feed, because I have one.
Oh, well then, you have one too. Well, but I think this is actually a blessing in disguise, because I think it could be that maybe Virtual Console will be coming to Switch. Maybe that's why they're doing it, because hang on, if we keep selling these, people aren't going to buy a Switch. And so instead, we'll stop this, we'll put it on Switch, more people buy Switch, even though so many people have bought a Switch.
And we get to charge them full price per game, rather than one price for all the games.
For all the games. Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at someone for selling their 30-plus-year-old games, if they're that good that you can sell them at full price. Then...
I mean, this product was never meant to go into mass production like a Switch or a Wii or a Wii U. This was never supposed to be a actual console, so I understand that they had to call it quits sometime, but it seems that like lots of people still don't have their hands on one. Why would you not just keep pumping them out?
Yeah, if people want it, you give it. Supply, demand. I just don't...
I mean, there's probably manufacturing costs, and they only... factories have contracts which they have to uphold, and then the factories switch over, and then they make something else.
Oh, well.
I
mean, worst case scenario for everyone ever is you can just download them, because they're about like 3 kilobytes for an emulator and game. But
or just get a Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi. I was thinking about doing that. But speaking of Nintendo, we've had our own feud with Nintendo. Yeah,
last week we got a content ID claim, which is different from a copyright strike.
Yeah. So it's a slap on the wrist, not a spanking.
I don't even know if it's a slap on the wrist. I think it's just like a don't do this again.
We were trying to figure out what it was, because we've had, it was, what do you call it? You had a special word for it, but it's free to use.
Oh, public domain.
But I think it was the logo. The big logo popped up, and
it wasn't a big logo. It was a small one.
Well, I mean, as big as this little box can fit, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Our first drama, though.
Yeah, first drama. I don't understand it.
No.
So, in more good news side of things, Microsoft has been doing legwork ever since Xbox One came out to try and recover this generation, because PS4 is just dominated.
Oh, it's so bad.
And exclusives marketing. Well, the first E3 marketing.
Man, the first E3 marketing, it was so brutal.
It's so brutal.
I remember having Microsoft announce that they're doing, their really high DRM kind of thing, and then PlayStation just released a simple video, how to share a PlayStation game. Here you go. Dang.
Now, a couple of years into the future, I understand more of what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a more Steam-like approach.
Yep.
Which is great. Like, now that we've had a couple of years and our internet's sort of caught up a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, not much.
Nearly there.
Digital's become a much bigger thing. I think, looking back on the original one, like, that would actually be a good idea. But Microsoft is trying to, I guess, get back to those core ideas and re-release them, shined up, polished, bit better explanation of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But currently they've followed Steam's footsteps and set up a refund process from apps purchased on the Microsoft Store, which is huge. Normally, if you buy digital, you don't get anything unless it has been recently Steam that's only been doing it.
Yeah. It's a pretty good step, I thought.
So do I.
Like, when you consider, all kinds of physical means, except since Steam really became a big thing, you can't trade in PC games. But forever, you have PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo game, trade it in.
Yeah.
Get
Well, not trade it in, return it if you don't
return
like
it.
Especially with physical copies.
I think, are you level 4 in EV games?
Yes.
Yep, so we get 14 days.
Yeah.
To return it, and infinite hours.
Infinite hours.
Well, I suppose how many hours there are in 14 days, but so the Microsoft Xbox return policy was discovered. It was a Reddit user, Gameraver, I think is the name. Looked into it.
I think that's how you pronounce it. It looks like it.
Yeah. Noticed within the terms of service, it requires less than 14 days of ownership. So that's the same. But less than 2 hours of playtime.
Which has been pretty standard for digital.
Yeah.
Especially on
Steam.
Steam.
That's what Steam does.
Steam does,
Very close to that, I believe.
Yeah, Steam's been shown to be more lenient as, when you look at the likes of No Man's Sky and
people had so many hours in it, but they still got refunded.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you lie to your audience. But
so that's a good step. I don't know if this transfers over to Xbox Live Store, if it's just the Microsoft Store with apps. But that's a step in the right direction, I think.
Microsoft has their own PC store.
If you download Gears of War and you go, I don't want this. But...
No, not my cup of joe. Return it. That's good, I think, for us, the gamers.
Yes. Sadly, all this good work by Microsoft is being overshadowed by the game developer The Chinese Room, known for titles such as Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Which, let me point out, I think that was free on PS Plus.
Yeah, I remember at least one of these games I've gotten for free. I haven't played it yet, but one of them I've gotten for free.
They showed no poise or professionality when they tweeted out, "Bit depressed about Xbox jumping on the 2-hour refund. Bollocks asshole, why, you fools cannot sustain normal temper. WTF, modern culture." What the hell is bollocks asshole? I thought that was not one in the same thing.
Is he just... Are they just kind of this area of the body?
And...
What? No, I'm also... what I'm more confused about is cannot sustain normal temper. They've said this like they're a robot. Like, I cannot be neutral anymore. Must robot anger function. Like, cannot sustain normal temper.
I don't know.
And then the second tweet is, it's really simple. Refunds should operate off a percentage of game completed. Simple, fair, representative. This 2-hour thing is just cock. Beautiful.
Is this someone's, I don't even know.
Do you reckon
it took me so long to write up anything for this? I sort of just looked at it and went... Am I looking at a professional game company's Twitter, or am I looking at somebody's spewing stream of consciousness, like reading Donald Trump's Twitter feed?
See, it's like Sean Murray from No Man's Sky. So going back a little bit here, he did the same thing, I'm pretty sure. He said No Man's Sky was a mistake. Or someone said No Man's Sky was a mistake. And that was...
From the official Twitter page. But I think if you're going to look at more... just spewing consciousness, you're going to have to go back a bit further and look at Phil Fish with I'm trying
to think of it. It's Fez, that's the one. No, but what I'm saying is that got deleted off because they were like, that's not professional. But this is still there. Here. This has been here for days. It's not going anywhere. They're wearing this like a badge.
Oh, I don't even think they've... I think they just tweeted out and have forgotten about it. They've gone on to rant about Glinthawks in Horizon.
I saw that. Is the Chinese room... What if it's kind of like... Because I would say our official Twitter is more of your Twitter. It's not like it's regulated kind of thing.
I wouldn't say it's regulated, but I don't...
But what I'm saying is, what if this Twitter is just like... hey, we need an official Twitter. Joe, you can do the Twitter now. And then they don't care about it. And then Joe can post whatever he wants.
Maybe, I mean, understandable that these games are within those 2 hour realms. They're, I guess, experiences. You can sit down, smash it out, request a refund, and you've got to play the entire game, quote unquote, free of charge. I don't think you get the money back. I think it goes into store credit like you would with EB Games. Just because Twitter is 140 characters doesn't mean you can't be civil and professional at the same time. I
mean, if you want to get your point across, you could just say, this is not okay. You don't have to, like... And you can also swear, I would say you can swear on Twitter, I think. If you're that passionate, you can swear. But yeah, just this weird stream of thoughts and words that don't even make sense.
Next, I mean, there's a 2 hour policy that... It's understandable, like, you can't just... Digital copies, they don't want people to smash out whole games, get it, and cheat the system, but people have been doing this with physical copies for years. I mean...
Exactly.
It's only been recently that EB Games have moved over to this level system in which higher levels get a longer time, but before that, 14 days was standard. There's no... You can't gauge a percentage of how long you've played the game or how much of the game you've completed.
I think the only way you can do that would be with Nintendo games, with the cartridges, where the saves are on the cartridge.
Maybe.
So then, I'm just imagining, you go to EB Games, hand in Pokemon, and they they just like bring out their own DS, click out their game or whatever, click in yours, open it up. Oh, the Elite Four, huh? Yeah. All right. No, I'm not returning.
People have done that. They bought the game, went home, smashed it out. I mean, there's different ways of playing games. Some people just like to clock the game, in which they just like to go, end credits, cool, done.
Yeah.
There's the collectibles, and then there's trophies and achievements. There's different ways.
So, you couldn't do this because you crave those platinums.
Depends on the game.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
I don't think you could...
Horizon, Horizon, if I sat down and did nothing but Horizon for a week, I could probably platinum it.
But remember, it was just last week we were talking about... Oh, the week before. I don't know, my weeks are fading. But you were playing Guitar Hero for how long?
That is not my fault. That is Activision's fault. Their game is broken, and it wipes your save data. I'm still about halfway through.
That's fine.
So this phenomenon of smashing out games, getting money back or not paying the money is not new. Also, for a game, if you want a percentage based, at what point do you say percentage based? 2 hours at a percentage of what? 10%? That's 12 minutes of a game.
Yeah, that's true.
You essentially saying that 2 hours you can beat a game, but how long does it take to decide if the game's for you or not? Yeah. Some games have got a really slow startup. Some games you don't even get out of the tutorial for an hour, especially with JRPGs. You can still be 6 hours in and still be within the tutorial phases.
I'm thinking what about a multiplayer game like Overwatch? If you wanted to get that, I would say it would take you more than 2 hours to, if you were a Call of Duty kind of gamer and you've heard so much about Overwatch so you wanted to try it, it would take, I would say, more than 2 hours for you to go, this isn't for me.
I mean, there's, 26 characters in Overwatch? It takes about an hour to at least understand the basics of each one. That's 26 hours.
Easily. But I think the thing is with See, I always go, when I'm considering buying a game, I always think, all right, how much is this? How much fun am I going to have with this? So I'm always able to go, like, $100 for this special edition Pokemon set, that's fine, because I'm going to get more than 100 hours out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you consider a game like Dear Esther, or Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and if you can finish that in 2 hours, maybe the problem lies within the price. And that's, you know...
I mean, these games are generally cheaper. I think Firewatch was about $20. That's a 3-hour game. I enjoyed it. I mean, there's skepticism on whether or not it's what people wanted out of the twist. It's not what I expected. Doesn't mean I didn't enjoy that experience. But it comes back, I think there's a huge issue here, which is, you know what they were doing before this whole, like, refund policy was out? Demos. Like, companies would take a chunk of that game, be like, this is a good representative of our game, like, or at least the best representation of our game. The rest of the game might be shite around that, but this is especially what we want you to sell you on. You can take that. If that's a 2-hour demo, that's that. If it's a 12-minute demo, you can speedrun it or see where the demo ends and try and see how much you can get out of it. I mean...
I love those... there used to be demos in the PlayStation 2 demo disc. Remember those?
Yes.
Those were the days. And some of them would just have, you know, an amount of things to do. But some of them were the full game, but just time-based. So you would see how much of the game you could smash out in that little time limit. But you know who still does demos? Nintendo does demos. Snipper clips, you can get a demo for that. You know, Pokemon, you can get a demo for Pokemon. I didn't know that. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, now that everything is digital, you can put the demo of the game up, be like, all right, this is the point where it cuts off. You pay the price. You don't lose that progress that you've lost. You've done. You can just continue playing the game from here on out.
That is so true. It's 2017. Why aren't you just doing that? Why don't you have built-in just, this amount's free? I'm pretty sure that's what they did with Mario Run. Speaking of Nintendo, I don't always think about Nintendo. I just sometimes always think about it. But yeah, Super Mario Run, you get to like a portion of the game and it's like, all right, you enjoyed that. Now give us $20 or you can walk away.
Yeah, or you can play the same 3 levels again.
Oh boy. But yeah, I think that's what the best thing would be is demos or just market. If your game is 2 hours long, I wouldn't necessarily call that a game. Like, there's certainly VR experiences that are very short and they're good, and we specifically...
some of those are free as well.
Yeah.
The Call of Duty one, there's a Danganronpa one. I think there's another one that I'm missing, but those ones are free.
That's why we specifically call them VR experiences. Perhaps just the trick is, go to Microsoft and say, this isn't a game, this is an experience. And from what I hear of Dear Esther and Everybody's Come to the Rapture, I've heard good things about them. But if they're this short and this is a problem, then just market them differently. I don't know.
Not sure. As always, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. We are sorry that this is a little late. Not that much. But
a little late, a little short. That's just Easter and the fact that we've just been hit by
a ton of movie news. Remember, Facebook is where we post updates and new episodes first, so like us there to see when this goes up each Saturday night, or in this case, Monday. If you want to see what we get up into our personal lives, check us out on our own Twitter pages. I am at BMW3 and you're at ShouldBeMatt. If you're not a social media, we still have that great deal for you. Just hit the subscribe button below and the little bell next to it to get the desktop notifications whenever we post.
You also get emails.
Do you?
I know, because I was looking at my old email account and it's just all this Game Explain, because I had subscribed to Game Explain on my old account. And
I don't have that.
It was just like email, Game Explain, and is now live, and it's like, this doesn't help me.
Oh, lives are different because
that's true.
That's streaming.
But
Twitch
it doesn't. Why would you email? It's live because it's over now. What's the point of the